Hey everyone, it's good to see you. Let's get into it. Today, we're doing a little bit of a story time. I'm going to tell you guys the story about the first time I ever went clubbing. It was a warm summer evening, and I had just turned 21. So, my friends decided to take me out clubbing in San Diego for the first time. I was excited, but also a bit apprehensive. I'd never been to a club before, and the thought of spending an entire night dancing and drinking just seemed a little bit daunting. But I was determined to face my fears and go anyway. We drove down to San Diego, and as we got closer to our destination, my nerves started to kick in. We arrived at the hotel in the heart of downtown San Diego in the Gaslamp Quarter, which is this trendy area filled with bars and clubs and restaurants and whatnot. We grabbed dinner and started our pregame ritual, drinking Truly Fruities. Love those things. So we started drinking Truly Fruities to get into the mood. And as we sipped our drinks, one of my friends suggested that we stop by a dispensary to grab a dab pen before heading to the club. I was like, great idea. As we walked to the dispensary, I started to feel a little uneasy, though. The area that we were in was becoming really sketchy, and I just couldn't help but wonder if this was a good idea. But we pressed on anyway, and eventually arrived at this nondescript building with an armed security guard outside, so always a good sign. We walked inside, and it was just essentially a smoke shop that sold weed. So we grabbed some cards, we grabbed a joint to smoke on the way back, and I was starting to feel a bit better. By the time we made it to the club, I was feeling a bit buzzed, but mostly excited. We walked into the Omnia nightclub, and as they showed us to our section, my friends were giving me the whole rundown about how this is the best club in San Diego, and I'm gonna have the time of my life tonight. So you know what? I said, I'm in, I'm sold, let's do it. I'm going down with the ship, as they say. And down with the ship I went. The night started off great. We were dancing and drinking and having a blast. The bottle girls brought out all the bottles and did the whole fireworks parade, which I had seen so many times on Instagram. I just couldn't help but laugh at how I used to make fun of the people who were like clubbing on the gram all the time. And here I was clubbing for the gram and just loving every second of it. The bottle girls make their way over and they immediately start pouring everyone drinks. I'm getting served vodka cran after vodka cran. And when a fine ass bottle girl hands you a drink, how do you say no? So at this point, I'm probably five deep and I start to feel the buzz. Have you ever like drank so much that your teeth start going numb? Well, that happened to me. So I knew I was on one. So I'm dancing with my boys when I remember, oh shit, I got a dab pen in my pocket. That's right. So I pull it out and I rip a fat ass blinker and I hand it over to my friend. And that's when things really started to go downhill. I remember dancing and feeling really tired and then just boom, lights out. And so I blacked out. This is the first time I had ever blacked out. Next thing I know, I come to consciousness for like 5 seconds. Literally 5 seconds. My eyes are closed, my head is down, and I'm too tired to even open my eyes. And I have that little aftertaste of puke in my mouth. And it clicks in my head. I'm like, oh shit. I just yacked in the section. There's no way. I just yacked in the section. And then immediately as that clicks in my head, I lose consciousness again and just black out. It's almost as if my brain was like, I want you to remember this. See what happens? See what happens when you go a little too crazy? I want you to remember this. Fair enough. I woke up the next morning in bed, lying next to my friend. My pants are gone, and I don't have any recollection of how I got there. Everyone is already awake around me, and I immediately start getting cooked. They start telling me the story of what happened and start making fun of me and whatever. I'm just like, what happened? So the story goes, my friends had noticed that I'd blacked out, and they wanted to try to get me to the bathroom because I guess it looked like I was going to puke. And obviously, I did not make it. But thankfully, I have some wonderful friends, and they escorted me the mile and a half down the street into a corner store where I picked some chips to eat, and then all the way up to the hotel room where they removed my puke stained pants and put me to bed. And all I could do was laugh. I remember this feeling like a turning point in my life, but I wasn't really able to articulate why at the time. Looking back at this memory, I remember feeling a little embarrassed because, of course, who wouldn't feel embarrassed after that? But the reason why this is so significant to me is because when I was young, I was super afraid of feeling embarrassed. Like, some of my most traumatic memories from childhood are moments when I felt a lot of shame and a lot of guilt and a lot of embarrassment. So this embarrassing memory could have been turned into a horror story and a justification for me to never go clubbing again. And I don't think anyone would blame me. But seeing it with fresh eyes and looking back, I can be proud of myself for going out of my comfort zone and facing my fears and just taking a moment to be grateful for having trustworthy friends that really care about me. So I continue to go out clubbing with my boys, but best believe that I've never blacked out since. Lesson learned. And that was the whole story of my first clubbing experience. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTuber things. I love you. Mwah. Get out of here.